Good evening, everyone. So let's wait for a couple of more minutes so that if there are any more people, they'll also join us. Okay. I hope you guys have got access to your Google Classroom. If you have not yet received any access, relax. The Naresh IT team will be sending you the invites to join the Google Classroom. You should be able to see the Google Classroom invites. You must have provided your Gmail IDs to Naresh IT team. So they will be sending the link to you, the invitation. You will be receiving a mail to your Gmail. You will be receiving an invite, an email to your whichever email ID you have given to the Naresh IT team. So accept the invite. Okay. So not sure, Ramu. Not sure because even I joined as a participant only. So this is not the demo class. We are done with the demos. We are done with the demos mostly. So for those who have done the payment and for those who have received the Google Classroom invite, you can see that notes has already been uploaded. So whatever has been explained till date, all that notes has been uploaded to Google Classroom. You can take a look at it. Okay. We never said the classes will be on Google Classroom, to be honest and to be fair, because I believe you are the same person who have asked that, is it going to be only on Zoom? And I've made it very clear the same day that the classes will be on Zoom only. Ramu, I will explain that to you. Don't worry. Don't worry. We have other platforms to discuss also. This is not the only platform. So you will not be discussing when the class is going on. So after the class, you have a separate platform to discuss all of that stuff. Yes, that's why we use that. So let's wait. If there are a few more people to join, we will wait for them. So a couple of more minutes and we will be starting our session. Kishore, maybe 1 week from now on. 1 week from now on, you might need a laptop, maybe. All right. So I guess we have enough people. We can start. Can't we download the course material? You can. That should not be a problem. If I have to say, that should not be a problem for you. You can download the notes, or else can just simply copy paste also, because this is not the final notes. See, I cannot upload the entire notes here. So if you want the exact notes, it might take some time, but every day I'll be updating the same thing. You can just open this and copy paste the content. That should be all right. Just hold on for one more week. Okay. After explaining Jira, or when we create accounts for Jira, when we create our Jira accounts, that's when I'll be helping you out with the GitHub account also, because I have to, I cannot share your code and share your notes on Google Classroom. Google Classroom is not how you will do in real time. In real time, you will be doing everything via GitHub. So you need an account on GitHub. If you already have an account on GitHub, that's fine. But if you don't, most of you might not be having accounts on GitHub. So that is why I'll be first helping you guys out with GitHub accounts. So once your GitHub accounts are ready, we all can actually download the notes from there itself. So just hold on till one more week, mostly 1 more week. You will, however, get the notes from Google Classroom, but it not might be the same. I mean, the pictures might be missing, and there might be something here and there. So for reference, use it for a couple of more days. I'll try to help you guys with the Jira account creation and GitHub account creation by the end of this week. Today, I'll give you the list of softwares that you need to download also. So you download the softwares and install it also. Installation is pretty much straightforward. You need not worry. So I'll tell you with the software installation part. Don't worry. So download those and install it if you can. If you can install it also, I would suggest you guys to install the softwares also. Yeah. Well, yes, I'll explain everything. But obviously, in the initial days, follow my procedure. Later on, slowly, steadily, you will understand that concept. Because GitHub, you'll not understand this in 1 day or 2 days. GitHub, you will have to use GitHub almost after this week. After this week, you'll have to use GitHub almost every day on a daily. I mean, you should be using GitHub on a daily basis. So you will get used to it. I'll tell you what the process is in the initial days. By the time you understand this, you do this every day on a daily basis on your machines, you'll obviously get used to it. GitHub is a daily activity for you. So you'll obviously get used to this. Don't worry. Okay, I'll help you guys with the GitHub account creation later on this week. I need to cover at least a few more concepts in manual testing. I need to arrive till Jira. I need to complete our agile testing. Only after that, I'll be able to help you out with Jira. So it might take by the end of this week. So we'll slowly cover that. Nothing to worry. So I believe some of you have joined late. I mean, anyone who has joined in the middle of last week, somewhere after Wednesday or on or after Wednesday, anyone? You can simply raise your hands. Anyone who has joined on or after Wednesday last week? Okay, 5 members. 6. Okay, not many people. So that should be all right. I'll, however, be repeating these concepts. Don't worry. I'll be repeating this concept. But today, let's cover something new. Okay. Today, let's cover something new. Let's start with some of our functional and non-functional testing types. So we have covered our sanity, smoke, regression, retesting, and buddy testing. So can you guys quickly, those who have attended the last week, I mean, those who have attended the sessions last week, can you guys quickly let me understand, or let me just give me a brief in the chat box what your functional testing is and what we actually do in functional testing? Any idea? Does it ring any bell? Okay, related to functional test. Load. Okay. We will test the functionalities of the software. Okay. What do you mean by functionalities? What do you understand by functionalities of the software? What do you understand by functionalities? Functional testing is end-to-end testing. Okay. Okay. See, end-to-end testing is a very broad term, to be honest. There is, of course, even your integration test cases, sometimes they'll be called as end-to-end testing only. Exactly. So your functional testing is nothing but, as someone said, we'll be testing for the functionality. So what is a functionality? Functionality is nothing but any feature in the application. A feature, or you can also call it as the requirement that is given by the client. Functionality or requirement that is given by the client. You will be testing all those in the functional testing. Basically, the working of the application. Let's say login, which is the functionality. Are we able to log in? Login, I mean, login, straightforward login? No, not like that. You will give correct username, incorrect password, correct password, but incorrect username. Okay. You'll be trying all these different sorts of combinations, and you'll be trying to test the same functionality with different kinds of inputs. Okay. If I ask you to test Facebook login, if you simply type your username and password and you click on login, you say login is working. Maybe that's not how you test it. You are doing that testing is fine, but that's not the complete way of testing the functionality. The complete way is to test by giving correct inputs as well as incorrect inputs. You give incorrect username and incorrect password, correct username, correct password, correct username, incorrect password, incorrect username, correct password. All these different combinations, you give all these different combinations and you test the same application. The same functionality needs to be tested in different methods, in different ways. Okay. This is what you do in your functional testing. So the functional testing is nothing but you will be testing for the client's requirements or the different functionalities or features that are present in your application. That is what is your functional testing. And in your non-functional testing, what will you do? What do you guys remember about non-functional testing? Exactly. Maybe UI related, that wouldn't come under your non-functional testing. But again, it's debatable. So testing the flow of data. Again, that comes under your under your functional testing. Testing the flow of data is nothing but your functional testing only. So in your non-functional testing, you will be testing for the parameters like your load. How much amount of load can your application withstand? Okay. What is the performance of your application under different kinds of loads? What is the response time that your application is taking? I mean, you click on a button and no, acceptance testing, it does not come under non-functional, it comes under functional. So you click on a particular button, you get your loading option. How much time is it taking you to give a response? You click on your login button. How much time is it taking for you to log into your Facebook application? Are you immediately getting your home page, your wall, or not? All of these will come under your non-functional testing only. So we have already covered a few functional and non-functional testing types. So in your sanity and smoke testing, you perform sanity and smoke after your build is received. When do you get your build? No, Gokul. When do you get your build? Exactly. After your development. After your development stage or after your coding stage, whatever you want to call it as, development or coding. So the output of your development phase is nothing but your build. Then what is a build? What do you understand by a build? Why do I see people dropping from the session all of a sudden? Is it because you guys have joined from multiple laptops, or anyone who has joined from multiple laptops? That's all right. Even if you join from multiple laptops, it's all right. But anyone who has joined from multiple laptops. I mean, the only thing I want you guys to do is, if you're joining from multiple devices, mute the output in at least one of them, because you'll be listening my voice twice in all those devices. So make sure you're muting one of those devices at least. Build is nothing but your application itself, but not a straightforward application. It's just ready for testing, and it's not ready for delivery or not ready for your deployment. It cannot be given to the client yet. It cannot be given to the end users for their usage. It is being developed. It is only ready for a testing. You may find bugs, you may not find bugs, but just because you may not find bugs, you're not going to stop your testing. You still have to go through the entire testing process, functional, non-functional, manual, automation, black box, gray box, white box, whatever testing you have, you do all those kinds of testing. Unless you test your build, you're not going to release it, you're not going to deploy it, you're not going to deliver it, whatever you want to call it as. Okay, you do your testing on your build. Good. But you won't start your entire testing. You won't start your entire dedication. You won't do your dedicated testing on the build right from day one. No, because you never know if the application is ready to be tested or not. Of course, although you might receive a mail or a communication from your development team saying that, the build is ready for a testing, maybe sometimes they might not have pushed the actual build into your QA environment. So as I've already mentioned to you guys earlier, there are, in most of the cases, in most of the companies, there are how many environments? Does anyone remember the number of environments? Three types, exactly. Three types. So first is your development. This is where your developers will see. This might not be the exact way in some of you might be working here. Some of them may not be having the exact similar kind of environment. At least in my company, we use these three environments. Okay. For some, you might not be aware. Even if you are working as a manual tester, you might not be aware. Okay. For some, there might not be any staging environment. They might be testing in the same development environment only. You never know. Each of them have their own convenient way of working on this. So the ideal practice is you have a development environment where this is for developers. They develop the code, they push it into the development environment, and they will do their unit testing, their basic testing, not something similar to the kind of testing we do. They do their basic testing. Okay, is the UI working properly? Are the buttons working properly? Is the functionality, basic functionality working? Basic testing, they'll do it and give it to you. But again, they'll not be giving the development application to you. They'll be giving QA application. What is the difference between your development application and QA application? Nothing much. Your QA application will be exactly almost 99% similar to your development environment, development application only. Almost same as your development application. But why do you have as a separate application? Because for your testing purpose, there may be some limitations. As I've already mentioned, there are some limitations for Selenium, like you cannot automate CAPTCHA. You cannot automate OTP sometimes. Sometimes you can automate. Sometimes you can automate OTP, but sometimes you cannot automate CAPTCHA. So manually you can do CAPTCHA. That's not a problem. But automation, CAPTCHA is not possible. So there may be some limitations for our testing process also. Considering those limitations, considering those pain points, what they will do is they'll give us the QA environment application, which will be slightly different than your development environment, not entirely different. The functionalities, the code, the UI, the buttons, everything will be similar to your development environment only. Okay. So who will be testing your application in QA environment only? If you get any bugs, you will report that. They'll be fixing in the dev environment. Also, they'll be fixing in the QA environment also. Okay. So after you are done with your testing, the actual application will be in production, or some people would like to call it as prod. Production or prod. Sometimes you may have to test your prod environment also. Dev environment, very rarely you will do your testing. Prod environment, slightly some more times. Highest priority will be for your QA environment. Next would be for your prod environment. Not all the projects, not in all the projects, they might be doing their prod testing, but some projects they'll do prod testing also. Okay. Dev testing, very rare. Very rare. Dev testing is very rare. QA and prod is where you will test your application. QA very frequently, prod slightly less frequently than your QA. Okay. Let's say if you run some 100 test cases in QA environment, you might run only 10 or 20 test cases in your prod. You will not do the entire testing process on your prod. No, you'll not be wasting the entire process, because prod is nothing but the replica of your QA only, the replica of your dev only. So again, you need not repeat the entire testing process on your prod. You already the developers have already tested the dev environment. The exact replica has been put in QA environment. In QA environment, you have done your end-to-end testing, your integration, regression, sanity, smoke, compatibility, performance, load, all these kinds of testing you must have done. And if there are any bugs, you have got it fixed. Once you feel that your QA application is working fine, that is when you have created your prod environment. So the prod environment most of the times will not have any bugs if your QA environment was working fine. But again, to be sure, you will be running some test cases even on prod also, to be sure. Not on par with your QA, but at least some part of QA test cases will be run in prod also sometimes. Just to be sure, you release your application and maybe there is some integration missing in the application. Some modules might not have been integrated properly, or there must have been some bugs. Some buttons might not be working. The UA might not be loading UI. So in order to avoid these silly mistakes, you will better do some test cases, some end-to-end integration test cases, not basic testing. You will do exhaustive integration type of test cases on your prod. You will not do sanity smoke mostly. You will do your basic sanity smoke, and most of them will be your integration test case on prod, because on prod it is your actual live application which will be used by your end users. So you will be doing your prod testing also sometimes, just to be sure. So you have, before starting your testing, be it in QA or be it in prod also, before starting your testing, it is always important to know if the build is ready for a test or not. Your testing team, your development team will say that the application is ready for a testing. But what if they did not push the development code to QA? What if the QA application is not yet ready? They feel they have not pushed all the code, they have not included all the functionalities, but they have said, that, okay, this is ready for a testing. What if they have done something like that? The application is opening. It's not that the application is not opening. The application is opening. But what if the basic functionalities are not working fine? The logins are not working. The buttons are not working. The UI is not loading. So you will do all these kinds of basic and most important functionalities you will test first. For Facebook, what do you think is the most important functionality? If you open facebook.com, what do you think is the most important functionality? If I ask you to write test cases for facebook.com, on the top of your mind, what test cases can you think of? First is login. Next is your forgotten password. Next is your create new account. These three are the most important functionalities. And you should have these fields. Most importantly, if you want to log in, these fields should be present. If these fields are present, your login button should be working. This forgotten password link should be working. This create new account button should be working. And your logo should be appearing. All right. These links should be working. So these are all the basic testings that you will do first. Without doing this basic testing, you will not move forward and start your integration, regression, all those complicated testing types. First, you should do your basic testing. Once you arrive at a conclusion that, okay, the basic test cases are working fine, the basic functionality is good. Once you arrive at a conclusion, once you understand that basic functionality is working all right, that's when you start your actual test. That is your regression, integration, and all those stuff. That is your actual testing. All right. So first you should always check if the build number is correct or not. Okay. If I have to show it to you, where can I show this build number? PUBG का build number रहता है क्या? If you can see here, PUBG 2.6.0. This is the build version. 2.6.0 is nothing but the build version. Okay. PUBG, there must have been multiple versions. Just like how you have your Windows 11, Windows 10, Windows 12, Windows 8, Windows 9, Windows 7, all of that, you will have versions for your application also. That is nothing but your build number only. So PUBG, the build number that is available is 2.6.0. Similarly, for your application also, you should have some build number. How are these build numbers given? How are these build numbers assigned? So answer this one question for me. What is the current month? What is the current month? June. Exactly. June. June. Correct. Correct. June. All right. But what happens is, I'll check the general cycle that happens in your project is the general cycle is testing will be done. I mean, let's say every month you have one release. Every month you will be releasing an update. Let's imagine something like that. Okay, because even for your WhatsApp, even for your Facebook and all those applications also, if you open your Play Store, once every month, at least once in a month, you'll be getting updates on your Play Store. Did anytime you guys update your applications on Play Store? I mean, I'm not a user of iOS. I don't use iOS. So I'm sure I'm only familiar with Android. So did you guys anytime update your applications on Play Store? Do you have idea about that? Ever tried? So at least once in a month, you'll be getting any update from WhatsApp, any update from Instagram, update from Facebook, update about Google Pay, Google Gmail, all that stuff, right? So imagine a similar scenario. Okay. You have release every month. Every month there is one release you have planned. So June first, every month, first week. Release every month, first week, basically. So if you want to do a release in July next week, next month, July first week, if you want to do release in July first week, when will you test the application? If you want to release your application in July first week, when will you test your application? In which month will you test your application? Will you test it in July only or will you test it in June only? You'll have to test it at least from the first week of June. The entire June month, you'll be testing for July release. All right. You will not test it just before your release. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. If you are planning release every month of every first week of the month, you will be testing the application the previous month. At least that's how majority of the projects work. Okay. You will test the application for the entire month. Okay. The developers have to develop the application. They'll have to push it to QA environment. You will have to get the build. You'll have to test it. You'll have to send it for bug fixes. The bug fixes will have to come back to you again. You'll have to retest for the bugs. And then you will give a confirmation for the development team and for basically the DevOps team saying that, yes, the build is stable. There are no bugs. That's when they will proceed to release. So that is why this entire process will take at least 2 to 3 weeks. So that is why if you are planning release every month first week, okay, let's say every month, or let's say like next release is on July 5th. Let's say July 5th is the next release. All right, you should complete testing by June, at least on or before, at least 1 week before your release, at least by June 28th or max by June 30th. To be honest, complete your testing by June 28th. So what build are you testing for in June? What build are you testing for? Let's say your build numbers will be like this, 2023.01. This is for January release. For Jan release, this is the build version. For 2023.02 will be release. 2023.03 will be March release. What do you think? Which build do you think will be testing in June? Which build do you think? What do you think will be the build number for the July release? No, you will be testing for 2023.07. 2023.07 is your July release version. Okay. This is the version of your application. You are releasing your application in 2023-07. So imagine this is the version of your application. This is the build version of your application. So you are planning to release this application in July first week. So when will you test this application? You will be testing this application in July. You'll be testing, sorry. You'll be testing this application in June. You'll be testing this application in June and you'll be releasing it in July. So the build version or build number will be 2023.07. Okay, now understand the concept here, how builds and versions are given and how your testing is done. Did you get an idea how your testing works? How your build number works? Now, if you are sitting in July, let's say you are sitting in July. If you are in July, what build version will you test? What build version will you test if you are sitting in July? Tell me the build version. Exactly, 2023.08. You will be testing 2023.08 in July. Correct. Correct. Yeah, correct. So again, sometimes what happens is there might be even 2 releases a month also. Imagine there is, after release, there has been some major bugs. Imagine they have released in July 1st week. July 5th, they have released the application. July 5th, 2023.07 released. Very good. But again, got a bug, very serious bug. So you have worked the entire week. On July 12th, you have again planned second release for the month. This time, the build version will be 2023.07.01. Yes, every release, the build version should change. That is usually the norm. That is usually the understanding that happens between teams. Of course, I have given a very simple build version. This is not how your build version might look in all the projects. Every project has their own way of naming the build. But I'm giving you a very basic example how a build number will look like. So initial release for July month, it was planned on July 5th. So 2023.07 was released, the application. But again, after release, you have found out a very serious bug, serious defect. So you have reported it because you will do prod testing also. Remember prod testing? You will be doing prod testing also. You have released the application on July 5th. Immediately on July 5th, you have started your testing on prod. Immediately prod. Prod, which version you will be testing? Prod, which version will you be testing? Which build version you will be testing in prod? Exactly. Prod, you will be testing 2023.07. Exactly. Prod, you will always be testing for the current version most of the times. But again, that depends. That depends. Prod, you will most of the times you will be testing for the same month only, not like your stage, your QA environment or dev environment. So on July 5th, you have released the application, which is 2023.07, and you will immediately start your prod testing for those 20 or 30, whichever number of test cases it is. You start your prod testing, and in prod testing, you will test the live application. Imagine you have got a bug. After you have got a bug, you will be reporting it to the developer, just like your usual process, whatever it is there, you will follow all of that protocol process, all of that stuff. And your developer has fixed that bug. So immediately, sometimes what they'll do is, this is the second release in the same month. This is the second release in July again. Like you are releasing this product application once again because you have found out a bug in prod environment and you got it fixed. Again, they'll have to release the application. So this time again, chances are they will change the build version again. They'll change the build version again. This time they'll make it 2023.07.01 or 02 or whatever it is, whatever name they want to use. So that this indicates that this has been released another time. This has been released for the second time. So understood the concept of build numbers now? Okay, cool. So I believe every one of you is now able to understand what bill number is. So does anyone have any confusion about the bill number? I mean, it's a very small concept. If you release 4 times, how we know a frustration? So Ramu, broad, what is meant by broad? I don't know. I mean, I did not say anything about broad. When did I say about anything about broad? Broad bole to? I did not say anything about broad. Did I say anything about broad? I don't remember saying anything about broad. No, it's not broad. It's prod. Prod. Prod is the shortcut for production. It's prod, not broad. It's prod. Prod is the shortcut for production. You can call it production or prod, whatever, whatever you want to. So maybe there is a problem with your internet. Better if you can try logging out and logging in again, that would help you. And if you are on mobile data or if you broadband, maybe if there is any issue at your side, better log out and log in once again. Better. Okay, cool. So why do you do your sanity and smoke testing is to understand if your bill number is correct. Sometimes if your bill number is also incorrect, then also you will not see. You are sitting in June and you want to select, you want to test for July, that is 2023.07. What if the bill number is not updated? What if the bill number is not updated? The bill number is still says 2023.06. How will you know that if the application is ready for testing or not? The only indication for you to know that the application is ready for testing is the bill number. If the bill number is not updated, you will never know if the application is ready for testing or not. Just because they have done code changes, it is not enough. They'll have to update even the build number also. If the build number is not updated, how will you know if the application you are testing is for July version or June version? How will you know? You are sitting in June. You're currently in June month. You'll have to test for July month. If you have to test for July month, there should be an indication that this application is for July month. What is the indication that the application is for July month? The build number. If the build number is not updated, how will you know if the application is ready for a testing or not? Although the developer will say the application is ready for a testing, you should still get it confirmed, checked with your developer if the build number is updated or not. If the build number is not updated, you will not proceed with your testing also in some cases. Some people are very strict with their build numbers also. So you'll do all these basic testings and then you will confirm saying that, okay, cool, this build is ready for a testing. We can start our actual testing efforts. You don't put your entire testing efforts once you receive your build. No, that's not how it works. First, you put your basic testing efforts, basic smoke and sanity test cases. And if you feel that it's worth putting those efforts on the build, then you will start your regression, retesting, all of those stuff. So everyone remembers what regression is? Everyone remembers what regression is? Can anyone quickly summarize it in the chat box? Can quickly summarize what it is. Okay, checking the older functionalities. Okay, test the untouched parts of the application. All right, some new terminology which will be useful for me also. Ups and downs. See, I understand. See, you might be familiar with the concept. You might be understanding what regression is. I'm okay. I'm okay with your answers. But whenever you are answering me, think of me as your interviewer. Think of me as your interviewer. Think that this is an interview question. Then answer me how you will answer your interviewer. That will become a very good practice for you from now onwards. Okay, now that does not mean you copy paste your answer from Google. No, don't do that. Whatever that you can present in front of an interviewer, just answer me the same thing. This becomes your practice. All right. See, I can't take mock for all of you, but at least I can ask you guys questions and you can type me your answers. So type as if you are answering your interviewer. Exactly, Selva. Make sure the existing functionalities are not broken when the new feature is added into the application. Exactly. Yes, Dinisha, correct. Smriti, correct. Preeti, Ravi, correct, correct. Durga, all of you, correct answers. Very good. So make sure you answer it thoroughly. I mean, just like how you answer your interviews. So regression is nothing but you will test the application. Imagine you got a bug fix or you found out a bug, your developer has provided a fix. Or imagine the client has asked you for a new functionality or new feature in the application. Okay. Your developer has made some code changes, be it a bug fix or be it a new functionality that needs to be added to the code, to the product, to the application. Whatever it is, it does not appear magically. There has to be some code that needs to be written. There has to be code that needs to be updated. Okay. So be it any bug fix or be it any new feature, new update in the application, whatever it is, it requires code change. So if this code if this code change is done in the application, it should not affect any other parts of the application. Any other parts of the application should not be disturbed. You make a change in the let's say in the login functionality, it should not affect your payment. It should not affect your search. It should not affect your chat box. It should not affect your payment confirmation. So you never know. It's all like a spider web. No, it's a pack of cards. If you remove just one link, everything might collapse. You never know how delicate it is. So in order to be sure that you're not disturbing any other parts of the application, just because you have made some change, it should not have a butterfly effect somewhere else. All right. So, global warming. Something similar to global warming. Someone else is using more petrol, more oil, more coal. That is how we have hot temperature, hot climate in India. Butterfly effect. Someone else is using it, but we are facing the effects. So similar like that in your regression also. You make changes somewhere else, the effect will be felt somewhere else. You never know how your application is built. So in order to avoid this kind of scenarios after your prod, or in order to avoid anything happening, anything negative happening or any failures happening, you will test the application for all the dependent modules. Okay, if I change payment, what all modules might get affected? If I change login, what all modules might get affected? Where in which all places there will be effects. So all those functionalities, you will be testing it along with the new functionality. Along with the new functionality, you will be testing all the dependent modules on this particular functionality. Or if you do any bug fix, along with the bug fix, you'll be testing all the other dependent modules on this particular module. Okay, that is what is your regression is. Then what is your retesting? Okay, okay, guys, I need answers from you guys. Okay, I need answers. You guys have to be a little more proactive. Then regression should be, hold on, there is some interesting question. Then regression should be automated since manual people focus on new feature. Exactly. Regression most of the times will be automation only. Never will the functional team or the manual team does regression. No, regression will not be done by manual team in most of the cases. Exactly. Retesting is nothing but whether the bug has been fixed or not. You will test only for the bug and nothing else. Guys, for some of you, this has been already repeated, already covered. But why am I repeating is we have a lot more people who have joined in the middle of the week, in the middle of last week. So, to make sure they don't feel left out, I'm repeating all those concepts. So hold on. A couple of days, you will feel this lag, this repetition, but think of it as a revision for you guys also. So be a little proactive. Try to answer my questions if you already know the concept. Okay, so that the new people who have joined today or middle of last week, they'll also understand the concepts. So exactly, retesting is nothing but we'll test only for the bug and nothing else. You'll do your normal testing first. You'll find a bug. You will raise it on Jira. Your developer looks into the Jira. He'll fix the bug. Okay, he'll fix the bug and he'll say, okay, boss, your bug has been fixed. Go ahead and confirm if the bug has been fixed or not. He'll also do his basic testing, but he'll still ask you if the bug has been fixed or not. Confirm this to me. So you will again go open the application and you will try to replicate the same situation which you have done previously when you got the bug. Then you will test if the bug has been fixed or not. If the bug has been fixed, that's it. Your retesting is closed. Your bug has been closed on Jira and khatam, done. You may not test the entire build, to be honest. Retesting, you may not test the entire build, to be honest. In the same build only, they will be doing the fixes most of the times. Unless it is prod related bug, they will not be changing the version. Because in your normal QA testing, they will not frequently change the build numbers. No. For the entire QA testing cycle in that month, for the entire testing cycle, for the QA testing, the entire cycle, the build number will be same. But in prod testing, if there are any bugs, if there is any second release, then the build number may or may not change. But in your QA testing cycle, most of the times the build number will not change. For the entire testing cycle, in this case, 1 month, it will not change. It will remain the same constant value only, constant build number only. Any queries, guys? Are you guys clear till here? All right, cool. So we have also covered, let's also cover some non-functional testing types. Also cover some non-functional testing types. Okay. First one is your performance testing. Before understanding your non-functional testing types, it's important you understand, a basic thing in your application, basic functionality of your application. Some of you might already know this, but to give you a basic understanding how your application works. Okay. So, okay. Let me close Facebook and open Facebook again. You are typing your facebook.com. Okay. You are typing your facebook.com. Very good. If you type your facebook.com here, this qualifies as a request. You are requesting the servers of facebook.com to access Facebook. You are requesting. Who are you requesting? Who are you requesting? You are requesting the servers of Facebook, saying that, okay, server, I want to access facebook.com. Let me access. If the server processes your request, and if it accepts your request, and your request has been successfully processed, then you will be able to open this web page. That means your request has been successfully processed. The server has given you a response. Okay. You request for something. Okay. You request your friend for 100 rupees. He'll give you 100 rupees. Nothing but he's responding to your request. He's answering your request. If you get your 100 rupees, then it's nothing but your friend has answered your request. It's a successful response. You got your 100 rupees. Similarly, here also, you are asking the servers of Facebook saying that, I want to open facebook.com. So the servers of Facebook, server is nothing but your, you might be having an idea about server, right? So server will accept the request. It will process the request. If it's a valid request, they're asking for something that is valid, then it will process your request and it will give a response. If it's a successful response, you'll be able to open this website. You will be able to open the response. If it's not a successful request, you will understand more about this in API testing. Don't worry. You'll understand more about this in API testing. Don't worry. For now, understand that request is nothing but you're asking for something. Response is nothing but you are getting something as answer. Request is questioning. Response is answering. If you get a correct answer, you will be able to open the website. If you don't get a correct answer, you might not be able to open the application. Okay. Think of your restaurant. You go to a restaurant, you place your order. Who takes your order? Who takes your order in a restaurant? Waiter or server? Arey, man hi to rahega, obviously. It will be man only. Obviously, man hi rahega. Or kaun rahega? Women bhi rahenge, but that's not the point. What do you call them as? waiter or server. अरे यार man woman की क्या बात है उसमें, कोई तो भी रहेगा. What does gender have got to do with it? No problem. Okay. So you have a server. The server will take your request. Who will the server send the request to? The server will hand over the request to whom? Who will process your request? I mean, who will take your request? Chef. Exactly. The chef will take your request. So imagine a scenario like this. Your request is nothing but you are ordering something to your server. So your server, your physical server, your man that you have mentioned, that person who is taking your order in the restaurant is similar to the server that you have for your website. Okay. So I'm typing facebook.com here. It's nothing but I'm placing my masala dosa order to the waiter or the server present in the restaurant. So what does the waiter or the server do in the restaurant? He takes your order and passes it on to the chef. The chef will prepare the masala dosa. Who will deliver that masala dosa again? Will the chef deliver, or will the chef bring it to your table, or will the waiter bring it to you? Waiter or the server will bring it to you. Similarly, again, once the request has been processed by the server, it will again give back the response to the same server will give back the response to you. The same thing happens here also. The same thing happens here also. So imagine the same situation happening here. So this is nothing but your request and response. In a nutshell, this is how your request and response will work. So imagine, what is an invalid request? You might ask me, what is an invalid request? Just now I said, what if you give invalid request, you'll not get a response. Correct. What is an example? You go to a pure veg restaurant and you'll ask him chicken tikka masala. You go to a pure veg restaurant and you ask him chicken tikka masala. Do you think you will get chicken tikka masala in a pure veg restaurant? No, you'll not get it, because it's an invalid request. You're asking for something which is not available with them. Server asks whom? Server will not ask anyone. No, server will simply say, okay, one masala dosa to the chef. That's it. No. What will the server do? Even in your application also, the server will direct the request to the appropriate module. You have different modules, right? The appropriate code will automatically trigger. The server will execute that particular code in the application. So invalid request is nothing but you're asking for something which is not available with them. So similarly, even in your request response analogy also, in your actual testing request and response analogy also, you're asking for something that is not available with them. Okay. So in your non-functional testing, okay, you'll be testing for your performance of the application. How well is the application performing? Okay. How well the application is performing? Nothing but how fast is the application responding? So anytime, I know some of you guys are Telugus here. Some of your mother tongue is Telugu. Some of you might be present in any of the 2 Telugu states. So you guys will be easily able to relate to JNTU results website. But I don't want to give that example. So Big Billion Festival on Flipkart. I guess Big Billion is on Amazon, I believe. I don't know. Big Billion. Great Indian Festival is on Amazon. Big Billion is on Flipkart. So Big Billion Days, what happens is he'll put up sale on specific days of the month, specific days of the year. What happens during those days? It's just that there will be massive discounts, massive offers on the application, on the e-commerce website like Flipkart and Amazon. So most of them will be open. I mean, compared to normal days, on Big Billion Days, more people will be using the application. Let's say on normal days, 1 lakh people are using the application. On Big Billion Days, 3, 4, 5 lakh people might be opening the application and checking. Not all the people might be placing the orders, but at least many people will be opening the application. So if more people are trying to open the application will not be able to respond that fast. Imagine you go to the restaurant. Okay, you go to the restaurant. It has 20 tables. All the 20 tables are full. All the 20 tables are full. There are only five servers or 5 waiters in that particular restaurant. So first the waiter has to come to your place and take your order. Then he has to send the order to the chef, and after he sends the order to the chef, he'll have to take care of the other 19 tables, at least a few more tables. So you're not the only person there. The server is not dedicated for you, right? The waiter is not dedicated for you. He's not going to sit with you and take all your order. Similarly, even in your application also, the server is not just for you. The server will process requests from multiple people on the internet. Anyone can open the application. All their requests will be processed by the server. So imagine the server capacity is not up to the mark. The server capacity is not the server does not have the capacity to handle 5 lakh people. Usual capacity is to handle 1 lakh people, 1 lakh requests, 2 lakh requests at once. Maybe your big billion days, you are getting more requests on that particular day. What if the server is not able to handle those many requests? So you will see, you go to government banks or public sector banks, you'll say what general answer you will get when you go to a public sector bank. What general answer do you get? Server down. Simple answer, server down. The server might be down to whatever reason it is, but if you get more requests, on the application will gradually slow down because the server is not in a position to handle all those requests efficiently at once. The server does not have that capacity, similar to your normal restaurant example. If there are not enough servers in your restaurant to accommodate the crowd in the restaurant, your orders will be taken late. Your orders will also be delivered to your table late. Imagine the same analogy even for your application also. It might not be the exact analogy, but to understand in a nutshell, this is how your application also works. So in performance testing, as part of performance testing, you will evaluate how fast your application is, how quick the response is, okay, how stable your responses are. Just because there are too many requests, if your application is crashing, imagine, I'm not sure how many of you remember this, but when Xiaomi was in the initial days in India, they have released their smartphones, Redmi 4S or Redmi 1S or 4S. I don't remember the exact version. They had this concept of flash sale. You sit on, there is 1 hour slot. In that 1 hour slot, you should place your order. If you are lucky, you will get your mobile delivered to your house. You should make the payment and your mobile will be delivered to your house. So I remember something like this when Xiaomi has released their first smartphone, cheap, budget-friendly smartphone as a flash sale. I guess on Flipkart, the Flipkart application literally crashed due to the number of people who have opened the Flipkart application and the number of people who have trying to place orders in the entire country. So similar, something like this happens even in your application also. So as part of performance testing and load testing, you will verify how much of load can your application withstand. What is the performance of your application under a certain amount of load? If the load is increasing and the response time is also increasing, more people are trying to open the application and your application is delaying. If your application is taking time to load, that will be a problem. Your application should not take time to load. Your application, irrespective of the number of people who are trying to open and access the application, your application should always be responsive. That is what you will verify in your performance and your load testing. How much load can it withstand? Just like how your real-time conditions is, and just like how your real-time condition, how much of load you will have, you'll try to simulate that using specialized tools. You'll try to replicate the same thing on your application. It does not mean that you will have 5 lakh people testing the application at once. No, that's not how it works. You will simulate the same environment. You will try to create that environment on your application and you'll try to measure its performance. You'll try to measure what amount of load can the application withstand. So that what are the places where my application is responding slow? Does that need any code fix or does that need any other changes? What fixes can I make in the application so that my application can withstand amount of load and can perform better in real time? This is what you will verify in your performance and load testing. You will not verify the functionality, to be honest. Functionality might have already been tested by this time. By the time you start your performance or load testing, your functionality might have been already tested also, to be honest. You will start your performance or load testing only if your functionality is correct. Your functional testing might already have been completed also. You never know. You will do your performance testing and load testing to verify if the application is able to perform faster, give reliable output, and not crash and withhold all that amount of stress and load in real-time conditions. You'll not verify if my login is working or not, my search is working or not, my payment is working or not. No, you'll not be verifying all of those functional details. You'll be verifying how fast your application is and all that stuff. This is what happens in our performance and load testing. So understood, guys? Or is there any confusion for you? Understood, or did it flew off your mind? The flight take off. What happened? Cool. This is what you do in your performance and load testing. I hope the examples are easy for you to understand. I'm trying to get as many real-time or familiar examples as I can. So let me know if you are confused anywhere, if you're stuck anywhere. All right. So next is your volume testing. Volume testing is just you will verify how your application is able to process large amounts of data. Or let me give you a very basic example. You must have applied to some government exams, public sector banks, IBPS, SSC, State Public Service Commission. You must have applied at least once in your life. You must have applied to any of these government jobs. Even I have applied. Sitting in corporate job, even I apply for government jobs. Who doesn't? Salary less, but perks are more. So we all apply for government jobs at least once in our lifetime. Most of us might have applied to at least one government job. IBPS, bank, clerical, or RRB, Railway Recruitment Board, or SSC, Staff Selection Commission, State Public Service Commission, anything. So what happens here? The general process is you fill up the form online. You give your personal details, your 10th hall ticket number, your +2 hall ticket number, your Aadhaar card number. Okay. Next, your photograph. Next, your signature ka photograph. You'll have to upload all of these details while you are filling up the application. Imagine you have filled all of this application. Very good. Very good. Just 10 days before the exam, he will say, okay, dear candidate, the hall tickets are available on the website. Go to the website and download your hall ticket. You get this message or mail from SSC or your government exam ka website. You'll get this message. What you'll do, you'll simply type your application number. You'll be getting an application number as a reference. You'll type your application number and you'll try to retrieve your hall ticket. What if you got your hall ticket correctly? Everything in the hall ticket is correct, but your photo. All the details are yours only in the hall ticket, but the photo is mismatching, or you don't get your photo, or some of these details are mismatched. That will be a huge issue. That will be a huge problem. You will not be allowed to enter the examination. You'll not be allowed to take examination also. So, as part of volume testing, you will verify how is your application able to process large amounts of data that is present in it. Every application has got some database. How will it store the data? You open your Facebook. How are you able to retrieve your old chats with your friend? Because the chats have been stored in Facebook's database. Similarly, every application has got a database. You open the, you will verify how is your application able to process all these data at once. That is what you will do in your volume testing. Again, you might not be doing that level of volume testing, to be honest, but you will do at least some level of database testing. Okay. Soak testing. What do you understand by soak? What do you understand by soak? Soak means load and volume. No. Volume explicitly it works with data. So no. Load, that might not be the case. Soak, exactly. Most of you remember that soak means to absorb something, to put it in water. But in terms of testing here, soak means soak testing is nothing but see what happens in your soak. You soak your clothes first before before washing your clothes. You soak them. Why? so that you soak your clothes in detergent so that the stains will go easily. The stains can be removed easily. So think of the same thing even in your testing also. You will be testing your application for continuous periods, not in your performance testing or load testing. You'll be testing only just once in a while or whenever it is required. But in your soak testing, you'll try, imagine your big billion day, or let's say your great great Indian festival or something like that. That particular offer days will be for 2 or 3 days, or sometimes even for 1 week also. So the entire week you can expect lots of stress, lots of load on the application. All right. You should expect lots of stress, lots of load on the application for the entire week, not just for 1 day or 2 days. So your application should be able to withstand continuous amount of load, not just for 1 day or 2 days, because these offers will be present for multiple days continuously, 3 days, 1 week, 2 days, right? So your application should be able to withstand this load for extended periods of time. So that is why you'll be testing the application, just like imagine that you'll be doing your load testing for extended period of time. That is nothing but your soak testing. Doing your load testing for extended period of time, or doing your volume testing for extended periods of time. Whatever it is, you will do your non-functional testing for extended period of time, not just for once or twice. That is what is your soak testing is. What is the difference between load and volume testing? You tell me what is the difference between load and volume testing. What did you understand? So if I ask you 5 marks answer, what is the difference between volume and load testing? What understanding will you put in the answer sheet? Imagine this is your 5 marks answer, your JNTU engineering question paper. You will be filling up all those details. So tell me, what will you fill in the answer sheet if it's for 5 marks? So the next time you should be able to answer me thoroughly, because if you are answering this question, next time you should not forget this. So what will you write for load testing and what will you write for volume testing? What differences will you write? Exactly, Vishnu. Yeah, you can think of it like that. You can think of it like that. Volume might not be always database only, but yeah, volume deals with data. Exactly, Gajendra. Your load testing is nothing but it. You test the application to verify what is the how many requests can it withstand before actually crashing or before actually slowing down. How many requests can it actually handle before actually giving slow responses or before actually crashing or something like that. Okay. Load testing will actually measure that quantity of load it can withstand. Whereas your volume testing will verify how much volume of data can it process at once. What amount of data can it process at once is what is your volume testing. Okay. Load and performance testing, nothing but your load runner. That is one tool they use in the market. JMeter is also another tool that they use in the market for load testing. Even for performance testing also they'll use it. JMeter, they use it both for performance, sometimes even for load also. Load runner is another best tool for load testing. Gupta, maybe that's not how it works, because load balancing is done automatically these days. So maybe not, to be honest with you. Okay. So are we cool for today, or do you want me to continue? It's 10:15 here, 10:15 p.m. Do you want me to continue, or is it okay if we wrap it up for today? Come on, guys, speak up. Okay. Most of them. Okay. Most of them. Toke testing. Toke testing is nothing but something similar to your load or performance testing only. But instead of testing it once, twice, or something like that, just for a short period of time, instead of testing for a short period of time, you'll be testing it for extended periods of time. You'll be testing the application for extended periods of time. Continuously, you'll be testing, you'll be putting the application under a test. Be it load or be it performance, whatever testing it is, you'll be putting the application under testing for continuous amount of time. See, I should complete a lot of manual content first. Unless I complete all of this part, you'll not understand Jira. If you don't understand Jira, you'll not understand. First, you should understand your Agile. If you don't understand your Agile, you might not understand your Jira. Both are somewhat related to each other. Okay. Next, again, unless I complete Jira, I cannot start manual database testing. Unless I complete manual database testing, I can't explain API testing for you. If you understand database testing thoroughly, you will understand API testing very easily. It will easily take one more week. One more week, you will easily need one more week. Build is nothing but your application itself. Varsha, when did you join? Varsha, when did you join? When did you join? Today is your first class. Unable to attend previous classes. Pawan, the notes is already updated to Google Classroom. Do you have access to Google Classroom? Yes, Agile is similar to incremental model. Yes. Ankita, I'll let you know. I'll post the details on chat. So guys, if you have made the payments, I believe most of you are in this session only because you have made your payments. So I don't know. I was told that the link is shared with only those people who have made their payments. So those who have already made the payments, the notes, whatever has been explained to you, the notes has been already uploaded to Google Classroom. You can check the notes on Google Classroom already. So Friday session video, I'll ask them to share. Friday session video, they already shared. Saturday session video, they have not shared. So in your Google Classroom, if you go to classwork, you'll see manual testing notes available already here. Okay. If you do not have the Google Classroom access, check with the admin team. Ask the admin team, because unless you have Google Classroom, I really can't share the notes with you, because I don't really encourage WhatsApp and stuff. So let's not connect on WhatsApp. Google Classroom is one place where we'll be uploading notes in the initial days. Later on, Saturday you have class, Sunday you do not have class. Later on in the upcoming days, I'll share it via GitHub only. Okay. So those who do not have access to Google Classroom, please check with the admin team. And Google Classroom access will be given to only those people who have completed their payments. Okay. Google Classroom access will be given to those people who have completed their payments. So check with the admin team. If you have completed the payment and if you're still not getting access, maybe there is some delay from their end. Do not panic. Do not worry. Sometimes it will take some time, because Naresh, it is a very big institute. It will take some time. So just check with them. Just check with them. They'll be adding you. Pakka, for sure, they'll be adding you if you have completed the payment. Don't worry about it. Just remind them once. Just remind and request them once, saying that you do not have access to Google Classroom and that you have completed the payment. They'll do it for sure. Don't worry about it. Don't panic. Don't panic. This is still the first week. Consider this as the first week only. Don't worry about it. You still have a lot of time to understand. Gokul, I'll give those details also. Don't worry. I'll give those details also. All those details will be posted on your Google Classroom. So first, I want you guys to get access to Google Classroom, and then then we can discuss all of this stuff. Yes, Ramesh sir will provide that. You can check with Ramesh sir. I hope you guys all have the phone number of Ramesh sir. You can check with Ramesh sir. He'll be adding you guys to the Google Classroom. Don't worry. Let me stop my screen share. Let me stop this screen recording also.